We're switching from 2 wheels to 4 wheels on this trip and our rental, and we'll have even more of that on the train. And with that, we're set with our rental car. We were enjoying walking through all the greenery that we saw from our hotel room, but about 2:30 in the afternoon we said, all right, we're at a resort. Let's go get some tea and a pastry and a coffee shop. How difficult could that be? This place closed, but there's a sign that says, check out our other location at the conservatory. When we finally make it to the Conservatory Cafe, it's closed as well. But there's a sign that says, visit us at Delta Marketplace. So let's go. When we get to Delta Atrium, where the marketplace is located, they have security guards and barriers across here because this entire atrium is closed while they're doing HVAC work. So we can't even access, arguably, the main attraction at Gaylord. I mean, that's like Clark Griswold and John Candy stuff at the end of Vacation. He can't even go to Wally World. So at this point, 2:30 in the afternoon, we decide that we're just going to wander around and look for options for dinner. And some of them open at 5 o'clock, but what we found was Magnolia Terrace and Magnolia Mezzanine closed. Foundry Fieldhouse closed all day Tuesday. Closed all day Tuesdays. This place, great location, but they were jackhammering all those tiles up in the middle of the afternoon. Being in an atrium, super loud, super noisy. All right, how about some Italian? Closed all day Tuesday. Surely they had some things at the wine bar. Maybe, but they're closed on Tuesdays. This place opened at 5 o'clock, but at $120 and $85 for steaks, I'm gonna pass. At 5 o'clock, that place opened, and we got some of the driest chicken quesadillas I've ever had in my entire life. I think they were made out of cardboard and sawdust. There's our room over there with the open door onto the balcony. Arguably, the best thing about this place for us. We had a beautiful view of this conservatory from the moment we checked in. So is that worth the nearly $400 a night plus tax plus resort fee plus $37 to self-park? It's good for the experience. We did it once. We're happy we did it, but I think we're more comfort inn type people and just get dinner at a place that's in town, that's an independent place rather than a huge resort style corporate entity. Because to be honest, this felt like over the top for us, like a combination of Disney and Las Vegas. But when in Philly, you go for a cheesesteak. In Chicago, deep dish pizza. When in Cincinnati, Skyline Chili. Just sitting here with my buddy Neil Armstrong, young Neil Armstrong. Nice model airplane. We are here at the Neil Armstrong Air and Space Museum. This is a place I wanted to visit during my last Around Ohio tour, but I had to cancel it because of the 4 days of rain. Ain't that right? Neil's kind of quiet, but he does agree with me that he's glad that we're here this time on the trip.
Look at me, I'm in space. Space.
That is an exact replica of Sputnik, the first satellite the Russians put up in space. Those 4 long things trailing from it are antennas, which basically broadcast on shortwave frequencies, basically saying, I'm here, so that everyone in the world could pick up that the Russians were the first to have a satellite in space. My God, it's full of stars. Give that man a Cupid doll. My server asked me if I wanted Chianti in a traditional Chianti glass rather than stemware. And to be honest, I have never had it in a traditional Chianti glass. So, bottoms up.
This is what I got served.
As Siciliano, you want a corner piece?
I
Today we're hitting the National Museum of the Great Lakes, as opposed to the Regional or Local Museum of the Great Lakes.
Oh, I forgot you're filming.
That's all right. So, just whatever they're carrying, usually it was like the iron ore pellets. They'd load them in here, and then these would be they spin these up and tighten them down. Going down the hatch. The cargo area is massive. Not a bad living space. The crew's mess used by the ship's crew, which consisted of deckhand. I wonder if they left this a mess. Waffles!
I tell backwards. Yes.
That is the personal tour.
To run the systems
You know, reading. I said reading again because we.
Now this room might not be the Gaylord that we stayed at. But man, the history behind this room, the stories it could tell. Look, you got a nice little skylight area there. You have a fireplace right in here to keep it warm on the winter nights. Winter days too. I love exploring, yes I do. The history behind this and just the... Now you might think this is used for the crew, but this is a cabin used specifically for passenger relaxation during the day. They call it the Texas room. It was modeled after the steamships that would ply the Mississippi River. So if you were a passenger on the steamship, this is the room that you could relax in all day. And it's got wall-to-wall windows.
How you can straighten out. It is. I think
right.
that.
Da 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 da. Today's episode of Serendipitous Adventures brings us to Historic Bridge Park in Battle Creek, Michigan. This place has 5 historic bridges, obviously, that have been relocated from different areas of Michigan, and you can walk all over them. So this is one of those out-of-the-way places that Adventures with Paul consistently finds. Going across this bridge. Look at this. From this bridge, you can see another bridge. That's bridge-tastic. This bridge didn't have a sign informing us which bridge it was. So since this is the 3rd bridge we're crossing, I am going to call this Bridge 3. Historic Bridge Park. And they've got this little sculpture up there of the front of a building and another bridge behind the trees. Charlotte Highway, built in 1886. Don't try this at home. This is the most uncomfortable seat ever.
So one of the things I was looking forward to was the blueberry store. My
Wonder how
friend
much-
Jenny told me all about it.
Let's see what they have inside there.
Huh.
Sheep's head fish that he was catching last night.
Blueberry shirts. It's blueberry shirts. Thank you so much.
I've got a big one on the line! The coffee here is out of this world. We are at the Saugatuck Retro Resort, which is an old 1950 style mid-century motel, and it's done up in the current style. Love it. Here's our bed. Look at that, got a nice picture of Manhattan. Other side, we got some paneling. This place is great. We made it to Holland, Michigan, not the country. And this is crazy. I think they have a communal planting day because we're not even close to the gardens that we're going to go into. And we parked way down this line of cars because there's no parking in the lot, right? So if you're thinking, what's with all the people? The town of Holland is having its annual tulip dig. So for 10 bucks, they can come in here and dig up all the tulip bulbs from the tulip festival. And it is packed. You can see all the people with their buckets full of tulip bulbs. Clogs. That's where they make the wooden shoes. The top. I think everybody in Holland, Michigan was up here. This is where the blades are actually turning the whole grinder gear here. And that is the grinding gear.
Everything for free.
So you don't really know what color bulb you're getting or anything?
Dad, look at this.
Hey, if the shoe fits. the Dayshuna 500. When in Holland, you follow the yellow brick road. There are recreations of L. Frank Baum's original renderings of the creatures from The Wizard of Oz sitting right outside the library. He wrote some parts of The Wizard of Oz here in Lake Makatawa, which is right here in Holland, Michigan. So outside the library, you get to see some original recreations of his renderings. We are definitely not in Kansas anymore. I love this. It's like, release the flying monkeys.
I did it.
And this, they're coming right down off of the dunes onto Lake Michigan. This is a new beach experience. Coming off of the dunes, going down to the lake.
I know. We'll just back to the car. What is it?
headed out of the lake. We made it to Lake Michigan. What was the temperature like?
Felt like about 32 degrees.
If you think this looks easy, it's easier than it looks. It's just climbing a hill with very soft sand, and you're sinking in every step, pushing against soft sand. But man, the view is awesome.